Welcome back to Salt Plus Honey. I am your host, Ninky Punch, and this is where we hold space for softness, stories, inspiration, and of course, the sting that made us sweet. So today, I have a fellow creative and an expat here with me, Eden Wasp.
Eden Wasp,
Eden
yes.
Wasp. Okay, she's gonna sting you guys. So thank you so much for coming, Eden. But before I actually jump into asking you how are you and just getting into the questions, I want to give a big thank you to Teddy Frederick for allowing me to film in this space. Let's jump into the questions now. Who are you, but not what people think you are? Who are you from your perspective?
Okay, thank you. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you so much for having me.
You're
I'm
welcome.
really excited actually to do this. I'm a bit nervous on this ad, but I'm really excited. Um, as for the first question, who am I? Who is Eden? Um, hmm, that's
Yeah.
that's such a deep question. I would say the first thing that comes to my mind is a free spirit. I think someone asked me a few years ago, what do I value most in life? And I was like, freedom. And it's definitely like if there was only one word to define me, it'd be freedom. Um, I'm someone who values my time, my life, my happiness. And so I prioritize that over everything else. I love nature. I've recently been gifted the opportunity in this life to reconnect with nature and myself and spend a lot of time just slowing down and I guess paying attention to what matters most. And that has been like a really, really big part of my journey recently. Other than that, I am also a water sign. I love water. I love the ocean. I think every answer I'd probably give is going to tie back to nature
Yes,
somehow. I'm a
yes.
fairy.
She is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And being a Pisces, like you just want to flow. And I feel like that's the reason why freedom is so important to you because you want to be able
Yes.
to swim.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you can't try, you can't hold water.
Yes.
You can put it in a bottle and somehow it's gonna find a way out. It's just really, really interesting. But that is definitely me by definition.
Okay. Well, thank you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thank
guys.
you
Thank
guys.
you. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. So, are you ready?
I am, yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So I know you are Grenadian born, you're Grenadian by blood, but I do know that you did travel and you moved, you migrated to the US. So can you paint us a picture? What was your childhood like growing up in Grenada and what do you remember the most?
Wow. Yeah, sure. My childhood, I grew up in a place called New Hampshire. I lived between New Hampshire and Mount Parnassus, and I lived a very quaint life. A lot of what my family was very religious. My grandfather was a pastor, so my life was basically school, church, home. And
Very
church was
rigid.
very, very much so, very structured, very strict. But church was a major part of it because I went to a Methodist school. So there was church in school, there was church at home, and
Jesus.
then there was church in church. So that's a lot of what my childhood was like. I did get to spend a lot of time outside. Being able to compare that now, I guess, with my daughter's life, I think what stands out to me most is that I spent so much time outside, climbing trees, in the bush, finding fruit. A lot of my snacks were just mangoes and other fruit that I found that I picked outside. My imagination ran wild. My siblings and I, we always found something to get into. One time we tried to make a hot air balloon out of coconut, the coconut, the branches. We tried to like take the, what do they call them? We tried to weave a basket literally for
Wow.
our hot air balloon and take a sheet to make the
That's
balloon
imagination
itself.
right
I'm
there.
telling you, we had the best time.
Wow.
That's what my childhood was like. And that's
Okay.
what I remember most is spending a lot of time with my siblings, just trying to make whatever was in here a reality. So yeah.
And I feel like that's really important when you are, you know, as you grow, it's like you really do still need to stay connected to your inner child. And I feel like that's something that you've um, you've really connected to since moving back here, because like you have been making things into reality.
Yeah.
And if you guys follow her on social media, you guys know she has been doing things.
Yes, yes. I've definitely operated in a way where if I think it and if I desire it, then that means it's possible. And
Exactly.
if I'm not doing that, then I'm doing something that makes me feel like, oh, I don't want to, then, I get to choose. And I think that's something with my content, I really want people to understand. It may be very sustainable focused, it may be very nature focused, but it could be anything. It doesn't have to be living in a tent in the
Yeah,
woods.
yeah.
Whatever you put your mind to, whatever you want,
You
do
can get
it.
it. At what age did you migrate to the US, and how was that transition like? And what parts of your migration chapter did you enjoy the most?
So I left Grenada. I started leaving Grenada when I was 19, and I migrated to another Caribbean country, which I traveled back and forth from. At that point, I went to the US specifically when I was 22, I believe. And it was quite it's quite an interesting experience, I guess. I spent a lot of my life wishing I could go to the US and just imagining what that was like. Um, and when I finally got there, I felt this very strong feeling of underwhelm. Like, you're just like, oh,
This is it. This is it.
this is it. Wow. This is pretty, seems pretty normal.
Right.
And I think I was expecting to have this big, like, starstruck moment of like,
Yellow
because
brick
I didn't
road.
just move to the US, I moved to New York, of all
Right.
places,
The land of
walking.
opportunities.
Exactly, the land of all the stars, it was, I think I eventually had a moment where I did kind of start feeling that when I started rewatching movies and I realized, oh, that's down the street from me. I know where that is. I know that building, and so that kind of gave me an excitement again. But at first, it was very much like, oh, there's no trees here. Okay.
Outside is concrete. Like,
Yeah.
what the hell?
Yeah. And then you asked me what was my favorite
Yeah, your favorite part of that chapter.
of that chapter.
Yeah.
I think my favorite part of that chapter was kind of just ties back to my statement before. It was something that I've been thinking of and dreaming of and imagining for my entire life. So being able to just make that a reality and live in that reality, although I had imagined it to be different, just being able to be there, to have those experiences, to experience another life, another culture, another world. I think that was definitely my favorite part.
Yeah, because ultimately you got the chance to leave Grenada. You got the chance to see somewhere else, somewhere that, has so many more opportunities. It's vast in comparison to Grenada. And yeah, it opens your mind. You get to experience just a whole way of living. So it's always fun and exciting when you do travel to somewhere else. So yeah.
Yeah.
So we're on to motherhood now. You are a mother. I know I don't look like she is. She look young. She look young. It's T.
I'm a, s- according to word on the streets, I'm a sister. I don't know,
You're a sister, exactly, big sister. So you are a mum to a mini me. And what is your daughter's name?
Her name is Isabella.
Isabella. Okay,
Yes.
cool. And you two recently reunited, not too long ago. I'm not sure how many years. How many years have you guys like reunited since you guys reunited?
It's been 1 year.
1 year.
1 year,
Okay.
yes.
So how did that moment feel for you after because you were away for a while living in New York.
Yeah.
How long?
We were separated for almost 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Very, very, very long time.
Yeah. So how was the feeling of finally coming down here and seeing a teenager almost, or is she a teenager now?
She's 12. She's a preteen, but still,
Right.
she very much thinks and acts and looks like a teenager.
She
So,
does. And comparing to when you left her, she was obviously, a baby.
yeah, she was
Yeah, she
6.
was 6, exactly. So how did that feel coming back and meeting a near teenager?
Yeah. Um, It was a huge moment for me. It was a huge moment. It still is. I can be on. If I can be honest, it's a ongoing thing. So my initial reaction, seeing her, just like I surprised her. I didn't tell her I was coming. First of all, I called her and I said, "Hey, I booked you a spa appointment. You need to like go to the spa." And the initial surprise was meant to be her being at the spa getting a facial, and then like she'd have like cucumbers over her eyes, and I would come in and then she'd remove the cucumbers. She's like, "Wait a minute, you're," you know. But that didn't happen. She wasn't having a great day, so she didn't want to go to the spa anymore. So I had to improvise. So now I come up in this vehicle and I call and I say, "Hey, somebody came to drop something for you. Can you go outside and get it?" And so
Oh,
she's coming outside and I look at her coming out of the house. And I'm like, oh my God, that is not my child. That's a whole
yeah,
person. It's
yeah.
a person. Um, I think it was for her. It was a huge moment too because seeing me like after that along and we video called every day. We saw each other every day through a screen, but it took her all of like 10 seconds to really look me in the eyes and be like, "Are you my mother?"
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was definitely a huge moment. It was a mix of bliss and excitement of feeling that like that other part of me that's been missing finally like the final piece of the puzzle being able to finally be complete, and then it was also like a moment of grief, for the child that I left behind that's no longer there. And so in the moments now, I still have like earlier last year I had a lot more times where I would see like memories pop up of her when she was 5, when she was 4, and I'm like, "Oh my God, look at you. Like I missed you when you were 4, when you were 5." And I said it out of instinct because I really do miss her. But I had to realize that that's not who she is anymore. And
Yeah.
I didn't I didn't want it to be a situation where like I was trying to tell her like, "Oh, I love you," but like I love that person
Yeah,
more. Like,
reversed.
like, can we go back to when you were like, can I
Yeah.
undo the time that I miss? You know? So I guess that's in a nutshell. Like,
It's so sad, but
yeah,
so sweet at the same time.
I'm definitely holding back tears right
Yeah,
now.
that's okay, man. The Pisces in you wants to
Yeah,
just
it's
let go.
just, gosh.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a parent, but I have nephews and nieces, and just seeing how my sisters are with them, and just being a parent, like it's really tough. But I know that it's something that you you're doing a good job at. You just recently reconnected, but from what I've been seeing and just how she's been able to just express herself through social media, and just how you carry her, it is really beautiful. Yeah, and inspirational, because trust me, like, some people would just abandon their kids. Parents do that. Parents just abandon their kids because they just feel like it's not a responsibility that they want to uphold. um, and then you have parents like you, that even though you left and you migrated and you tried to create a life for yourself, you still didn't forget your child. So
Yeah.
yeah, kudos to you.
Thank you. Thank
Big
you.
up you.
Thank you.
Did you have a moment where you were just like, okay, I've had enough of New York City. The cold just isn't doing it for me anymore. Like, I just need to come back home to my roots, come back home to my family, my daughter. Was it a clear decision, or did it unfold slowly?
It's unfolded slowly. I had the feeling in the back of my throat, I guess. Um,
Wait,
for
throat. I
yeah,
just love what she
and
just said. We.
and the reason I was gonna say the back of my mind, but the reason why I said the back of my throat is because the way I operate is when I speak something, it happens. I do it. So
Right.
I'll say, for example, I moved to California off of a whim, and it was a moment where I said, I I want to move to LA. And then 2 days later, I was in my car and everything was packed into that car, and there I was driving across country to LA. And so when I say in the back of my throat, it's because once I say it out loud,
That's how you manifest.
I manifest it. And it's like I can't my body won't allow me to sleep without like bringing it into, it has to come to fruition. And so it was a slow build up based on a lot of circumstances surrounding my daughter. And the reason also why it was a slow build up is because I had a lot of pressure from my family to stay in the US. So it's something I definitely knew I wanted in terms of at least to leave the US, because it was a very long procedure to try to get her. And there are different ways that her coming to the US could have happened, but each one that I tried, I was met with a problem or a dead end. And so I was at my last resort, if I'm being very honest, and I spoke to my lawyer, and he was like, I think we can get her here in 3 years. This is year 5.
Wow.
And I remember that on year one was the hardest because it was the first time we'd ever been away from each other for more than 2 weeks. And we were like always together. I homeschooled her, so she didn't spend a lot of time outside of me. You know, she was very sociable, she was very extroverted, but she didn't spend a lot of time without me in her presence. So the first time I woke up and didn't know what happened to her for throughout her day, I actually felt the disconnect between us. You know how twins are connected almost like in an intuition and a psychological way. We had that. And I felt that tear during the first year. So it was our hardest time. I remember speaking to my uncle, and he told me, oh, you need to be prepared to be without her for 3 years. And I was infuriated. I was like, do you think you're trying to tell me I can't get my kid in 3 years? That's insane. And so by the time I got to year 5, we had already been shattered in so many ways by so many things separately from each other, that the separation itself was just, it just made it worse. So I got to the point when once I spoke to my lawyer and he told me we would be looking at another 3 years, I was like, you know what? I can't do this. I can't do this. I actually had a friend who was telling me a story about a man who took a cruise to Trinidad and smuggled his daughter onto the boat.
Wow.
And then jumped out into the ocean at Maya. I literally was like, you know what?
Stop. No, 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 no.
Like, can we actually come through the Mexican border? Like, I have people around me who are like, they came through Mexico. I'm like, maybe I need to do that. And it was in that moment that I realized, why am I sitting here thinking about how to smuggle my child into a country that
Yeah,
I
want to
don't
live
even
in.
want her
Exactly.
in? Do I want my daughter to go to school?
Yeah, with all the violence and racism. Yeah, yeah,
Exactly,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
exactly. And so, yeah, I made the decision, and I said it out loud, and then I very, very swiftly after saying, I think I want to go home, started packing everything I own, selling off what I couldn't bring, and purchasing what I think, she would need or I would need for this journey. And I remember when I booked the flight, I had a panic attack for the second time in my life. And again, it was because of so much built up pressure. Because I know everyone in my family was looking at me and my position, the things I was doing in New York, the money I was making. They're looking at that like, you have it, like this is what we want
You
for
can
you.
save us.
Right, exactly. Like this is what I want for myself. Like I wish I was in your position.
Right,
And
right.
so I knew that showing up home for them would be like
Like a failure in a sense.
yeah,
That's how they would
yeah,
see it,
yeah.
yeah. That's a lot of pressure.
Exactly, exactly. So yeah, that's how it went.
Yeah.
That's how it went. I can say though that now that I've left, the moment I landed, I touched Grenadian soil, I felt such an amazing relief. It was very psychological for me. I feel like I've been sitting in a cage for a really long time, wondering how to escape and how to get out and how to. It's like escape room. Like you have to go through the pieces and find this, and then that will
Yeah.
unlock this thing. That will, it's a step by step by step intricate maze. It's a labyrinth. Being in the U.S.
The Matrix.
And when I stepped out and I landed here, I realized for the first time that this whole time I was the one locking myself in this
Yep.
cage.
Yep.
I
Yep.
didn't have a guard, I didn't have a warden. It was me.
You had the keys the whole time.
Yeah,
Yeah. And we do.
I do.
We do. What advice would you give to someone who wants to move back home? Yeah.
Um, do it. I would just say do it. I think if the thought's already in your mind, then you're most likely experiencing what most people who left the Caribbean to go to larger countries are experiencing. That disconnect, that disassociation. I would say do it. I think in the long run, a lot of us are having the same fears. Oh, if I go back, what if I go back to square one? What are my family gonna think? What am I gonna be able to make money? Are they gonna be able to pay me? And I will quote someone I spoke to when I was having my panic attack or my panic moment about booking my flight to come home. And he said to me, you can make money anywhere. And I've only recently come to accept that you can make money anywhere. And the thing is, a lot of people, I don't think you realize that as someone who's lived out of the Caribbean, you're at advantage to be able to have seen and experienced so many different things that life can offer that the Caribbean doesn't have, which means the market is endless, it's
Exactly.
limitless. If
Exactly.
money is your concern, the market is limitless. And if freedom is your concern, then this is the place for you.
Beautifully said. Yes. And I also would add, do your research. Like, start doing your research, start reaching out to people because Eden, that's something that you did. That's also something that I did as well.
Yes.
I went on YouTube. Listen, I have a YouTube channel, guys. Okay, go on YouTube, search, move into Grenada, and just kind of get a feel of Grenada or wherever it is that you want to move to, and also just book a holiday there. Yeah,
I would definitely say visit.
yeah.
Visit first, because when I moved to LA, I did not visit. I just packed my
Oh,
bags
you
and it
did?
was
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
not what I expected.
You're an adventurer.
Oh, yeah, I am. But yeah, just to piggyback off of that, I think definitely visiting first, whether you're returning home or just moving to the Caribbean or moving anywhere, once you're leaving where you are and migrating to another country, definitely do your research,
Yeah.
visit first, and enjoy the ride. Be
Yeah.
optimistic
Yeah,
for
yeah, yeah.
sure, because
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you
yeah.
think it's gonna work out, it's gonna work out
It's
for
gonna
you in
work out.
ways that you never even imagined. The
Yeah.
universe is conspiring in your favor.
It wants you to do it. It wants you
Exactly.
to do it. Everything is in the mind as well. And I feel like the more you realize that you aren't in a box and that whatever you really want to create, you can. So just don't hold yourself back. And also, as well, I have created an expat guide. I've created 3 expat guides about moving to Grenada. So if you are interested in just steps on how to move to Grenada, I've broken them down
It's very
and
detailed.
yeah, very detailed. So yeah, check it out. I'll put it in the link somewhere. So yeah, make a change.
Take the chance.
Yes. What's something you've learned on this journey, moving back home, that really changed the way you see the world?
So when I moved back in May of last year. And 1 month into my stay here, we actually experienced a tropical storm, a hurricane, actually, Hurricane
Yeah,
Beryl.
Hurricane Beryl.
And thankfully, Grenada wasn't as badly hit as some other places, but our sister country was devastated. It really, really put things into perspective for me that as the countries, the islands that are located on the equator, we're actually in the front line for anything that starts happening based on the impact of climate change, right? Where it's, I mean, and there are a lot of different countries being affected, but when the major what should I say, reactions, I guess, when the earth starts to have its major reactions to what we're doing to the planet, everything on the equator will get the first hit. And I realized that also as the countries that exist on the equator, we don't prioritize or we're not fully aware also of climate change, of sustainability, of how the small things that we do affect the planet. We still have a lot to learn and a long way to go when it comes to that. And I think that experience is what really shoved me in the direction of fully detaching from everything and moving off grid. That's what sparked that moment for me.
Your brand, and it's not even just your brand, but just what you believe in and your lifestyle, which is sustainability, just, conscious living. And for people that want to become more conscious, what advice would you give them? Like, where can they start? And what are some small, easy steps they can take today to start getting themselves into that lifestyle?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think my first advice would be to become more present. A lot of us are operating in a very what's the word?
Unconscious.
Yeah, in an unconscious state where we're sleepwalking, honestly. And so it's easy to waste and to do things subconsciously when you're not even paying attention to it. You first have to wake up and start paying attention to the small things. And once you do that, you'll already just start minimizing your waste because you realize you don't have to. You know, things like having the shower running while you're
Before you get in, or
before you
yeah,
get
yeah,
in,
yeah.
whatever the case may be, while you're having the water running, while you're brushing your teeth, you know, small things, small steps, you
Wasting
know,
food, like
they
certain
add
stuff
up.
like that.
Exactly, exactly. So that I think is the first step. And then second, you have to do research. You know, a lot of the things we've learned to do are not environmentally safe. They're not actually healthy for us or our environment, but they are normal to us because our parents did it, our grandparents did it, everyone around us does it, and we think, oh, what's the harm in this small details? I think step number two would definitely be doing your research and actually learning not just what to do to minimize your footprint, but also just learning what does it do.
Yeah.
Me doing this, well, how does it actually affect the planet? You know, what's the cost that we're going to pay? Because I think a lot of the time when we speak about climate change and damage to the earth, it's all just figmentative.
Yeah.
It's just something that you imagine. It's something you see on TV. It's not something that you think is a reality until there's no water because we're going through a drought,
Yes.
until the hurricane that was supposed to just be a category one is now category five and going all the way up to Canada and continuing. That's abnormal and insane. And it's only until your house has been picked up or until the sun is blocked. Like, we don't have to get to that point, you know? I think the most important thing you can do is start doing research and start becoming more aware, more conscious. And those two things together will inevitably lead to you being able to minimize your footprint on this planet and help. Because I think another thing that we tend to think is that we just have to, if I don't do this, then at least I stop doing that, so it'll help. But you also have to actively do things to help the environment.
Join
It
groups, stuff like
exactly
that. Yeah.
to seek out people who are also doing those things. You go to the beach and you see a soda bottle on the ground,
Exactly.
pick it up, throw it in the trash. It's not gonna hurt you. You might get a little germs in your hand, but you can wash your hands. You'll be fine. You know, plant a tree. These things actually help and they're actually important. And the more of these little steps you take,
Yeah.
you know, they all add up in the
Yeah.
end.
Yeah. Definitely. And the more we just help the planet, because this is where we're living. So, yeah, great advice.
Yeah.
So we are going on to social relationships, social media, and building Opal, your influence marketing agency. Okay, but before we jump into that though, this is something that we have to speak on, we have to touch on as, young, vibrant Black women. Dating in Grenada. Who said that?
Who said
Who said that?
Oh my God, that's too funny.
Dating in Grenada. And just your experience with the men down here. How has that navigation been for you?
I had to
Hair
think of
laugh,
what it
hair
is.
laugh.
Girl, girl. Oh my God. Um, my dating life since being in Grenada has been pretty non-existent,
For good reason.
for good reason. Yeah. I get this is a question I actually get a lot from men, especially the people who've seen my content. They're like, "Oh, so now that you live off grid and you're focused on yourself and you're reconnecting with nature, um, do you not like are you not dating? Are you not interested in men anymore?" It's either that or there are people in my comments asking me, "Where's your husband? You're lifting this big. Why are you lifting this compost bucket? Where's the man?" Which is so interesting. It's interesting that
Literally.
that's the first thought that comes to mind. But I would say Grenada is small. Let's start there.
Yes.
And there are some
Choose
viable
choose words wisely.
options.
Yo, choose words wisely, we. About there's some. I
Yeah,
think it's rare. I think it's very rare.
it's there are some gems out there. But a lot of the men in Grenada, I think, one, aren't where they need to be eligible for dating. And for some women, that's going to mean they're not financially ready. For some, that's going to mean they're not emotionally available
Intelligent.
or intelligent or
Yes.
ready, you
Yes.
know? And for others, it's just going to mean, in general, in a mental sense, you're not healed and prepared to be a provider, a protector,
To
a
carry a
leader, a
woman.
character,
Yes, a
a
lead. Exactly.
partner, in all the facets that it requires a man to be available for a woman, to be a part of a family, to have children with. And so, yeah, I think since I've spent a lot of time working on myself, I've also been able to deduce what it is I actually want out of my life,
Yeah.
and what that looks like with a partner. How does that involve a partner, and how can they, what space is there, what room is there for another person in my life, and what kind of person they'd have to be able to be eligible to fill that space. And since I've been able to define that,
Yeah.
the options have become
Dwindled.
much smaller.
Smaller.
Yes, almost non-existent. Um, I think Grenada has a really huge taboo around
Oh
sex
my God, yeah.
and sexual life, and because of that, the men are severely affected. The way that they treat women is in a very objectified.
Trad wife type of way.
Yeah. I don't think they come, and to them it's normal.
Yeah,
They don't
yeah,
see
yeah.
the problem with it. So when you talk about it, they don't see it like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you feel that way. It's for them it's like,
A
and
woman must know she
like
place.
right and exactly
And it's
exactly.
that.
And also like I've even got like I've had people or men try to speak to me in public
Over sexualized way.
in a very
It's
over
disgusting.
sexualized way, and I'm like, hey, are you okay,
Right.
instead of becoming irate and in the way that I want to be. I'm like, are you okay, do you realize the way that you're acting? And the response is always like, well, what do you expect?
Yeah.
When you walk outside looking this good,
Like
what do you
that.
expect? You expect me to be able to control
Yes, I
myself?
expect that. I expect that. You
Yeah.
know, you're a big man, you're not a child.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And some would argue that this comes from a certain class of men, but if I'm being honest,
It's all of them. It's
it's all out there
majority.
now.
Exactly.
It's all out
Exactly.
there.
And you are born Grenadian, so it's like it's not like if you're just like a foreigner coming here and just like living here for like a year, like you know how your people are.
Yeah.
So you can speak about it.
Yes.
It's a thing.
It's a huge thing. I think as a woman, number one, let's state that women are dominating the workforce here. I was just in a car driving with a friend. We were going to do a tour, and he was like, "What is this? It's 10 a.m. on a Monday. Why are there so many men at the rum shops? Why are the rum shops open at 10
I'm
a.m. on a
telling
Monday?
you,
And why are there so many men at the rum shops?"
yeah, yeah.
And that alone should just describe.
It should tell you
It should
what's going on.
yeah, exactly. And so it makes it even harder for the men who are at value, because if you are doing something, if you are focusing on yourself, if you are focusing on your career, then you are prized possession. So most of those men tend to not even be loyal because they have so many options. Because there's so many women wishing that they can have that they're willing to. They don't care you're married. They're willing
Yeah.
to they want peace on the side.
Yep.
So the options are very, very, very small because it's either you're emotionally unintelligent, you're too sexually focused or overstimulated,
Yes.
you're just not
Financially not there.
faithful, you're financially not available. You,
You're a mommy's boy, all of
why
that.
are
Ugh,
you?
I can't stand a mommy's boy, baby. But I just,
We have a lot of those too. But why are you? There's such a big thing in the community when women start speaking about men being financially unavailable,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and they're like, oh, you do have to be of this for to have value. And it's like, if I become intimate with you,
Right.
I run the risk of becoming pregnant. And I
Exactly.
feel like that's the biggest, like I have a child, for her birthday last year. She sent me a list of what she wanted. And on that list, she said she wanted happiness. And at the bottom, in quotes, it said money equals happiness.
Per
And children expensive.
children are expensive,
Life
yeah.
is expensive. At any circumstance, you need to be able to first be able to take care of yourself. It doesn't even have to do with you being able to give me money or give me
Exactly.
gifts or give me that. You have to be able to first provide for yourself. Give yourself a comfortable life. Because if
Exactly.
you can't do that, if you can't afford to feed yourself healthy foods, to go to the gym, to buy yourself clothing, to have underwear that doesn't have holes in it, what are you doing
Exactly.
in
Why are
my
you looking for
house?
a
Why are you
woman?
looking? Oh
Yeah,
yeah, why are you looking
exactly.
outside of yourself?
Exactly.
So yeah, that in a nutshell would describe the dating scene here when it pertains to me, at least, and I think quite a number of other
Other women,
women.
yes.
Yeah,
Perfectly said.
yeah.
That's the dating scene for you guys wrapped up in a nutshell. It's really not pretty, but we are headed to, well, onto the social media scene. So you haven't been living in Grenada for long. You've been here for about a year, and my girl's already dominating in her own way. And I just want to say that I'm genuinely proud of you. You have come a very far way.
Yeah.
It hasn't been easy.
It has not been easy, girl.
I know it hasn't been easy, but in this life, you have to prevail and you have to stay resilient.
Yeah.
Yeah, or else people will just knock you down, and you don't want to give people that power over you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how has it been navigating the content creator space in Grenada? Yeah, how has it been navigating the content space in Grenada? Yeah.
Um, hmm, that's been quite an experience. That's been quite an experience. I think in the beginning, when I first moved back, I was really like a young toddler, just who just got onto the playground. I'm like, oh my God, friends.
I was like that. I was like that in the beginning for a while.
I'm like, we all love content. We should all be
Let's
friends.
hang out.
And so I was really excited. I was really full of, because I was also not expecting there to be a content community here, if I'm being honest. I did my research, sure, but I know people were doing different things in different spaces, but I didn't realize we had influencers. I was like, okay.
No, but influencers.
Well,
I just say.
I was super excited to meet people and to collaborate and to build. When I was in New York, I had created a space called City Girls Social, where every month I held networking brunches for different women across New York City who either moved to New York or from New York or from the Caribbean, to be able to network, create content together, and just give women a space to be able to speak to people they probably wouldn't be able to in ordinary life. To be able to connect with people who are also like-minded, who are genuine, who are girls who want to uplift each other. And I was so excited to bring that here in the form of Caribbean Girls Social. Um, I was very quickly met with disappointment in the reality that women here are each other's biggest haters.
Unfortunately.
Wow. Wow. It has been insane. I think the content scene is kind of like high school. Picture Mean
Yes,
Girls. You walk into the
yes, yes.
cafeteria and there's cliques everywhere.
Just
And yes, yes, yes. And Um, if you're not careful, you can get. I think also because, like, as we mentioned earlier, when you're in Grenadian society, there are a lot of boxes, and people are desperately wanting to put you in a box as quickly as possible. They want to label you as quickly as possible because they can't deal with undefined. You have to be okay. We know she's okay. We know she's there. She's safe. We can handle her there.
Yeah.
But if you're a person who likes to mingle, intermingle, and touch and speak to
Everybody.
everyone,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
that's a problem. Apparently, you
Yeah.
can't be friends with everyone.
You can't be friends with my friends, okay? She mine.
Right. And you can't be, if you're my friend, you can't be friends with someone I'm not friends with.
Yes. Yes.
That's pretty much the culture, apparently. So I had a hard time in the beginning because I was really, really excited to create that space of like women. So I was excited to meet people, even though I was getting shut down here and shut down there. I kept going because I'm like, I need to have to find a space where I can actually meet women that I can provide this service for, because it's a benefit to be able to meet up with a group of girls who are warm
And
and
genuine. Yeah.
genuine and excited to see you, to be in your presence, to get to know you, to support you in
Yeah.
any way they can. And I feel like that's something we desperately need here.
We do.
But ultimately, I ended up having to just steady my own course. I realized that I got off on the wrong foot because I came in here with an expectation of people, of what I expected them to be, of how I expected them to receive me, to treat themselves, to then treat others. And I was in for a very rude awakening. And so I had to take a step back, and reevaluate. I had culture shock for sure, which is crazy because this is my culture. But taking that step back was able to allow me to build my own table, which I think was the first problem I had. I came in looking for my space. And sure, yes, I intended to navigate the whole cafeteria, but I intended this to sit at a table at some point,
Yes.
And that was the problem. I didn't need to be sitting at anyone's table.
Exactly.
I needed to create my own.
Exactly.
And that has been what I've done. I remember we had a conversation sometime before I left last year where we were talking about creating our own lanes.
Yes.
And I think we've both been able to successfully do that
We
this
have.
year.
We
And
have.
I'm so, so proud of us. Honestly, I'm so, so proud of us. It has been
Yeah.
an amazing. It's so crazy how life just moves to your will once you start pouring into yourself the way you've been pouring into
Other people,
others.
yes. And stop playing like a victim, because I do know that people, we can get into that state of mind where like we play the victim. And I'm not saying like it's not okay to cry and be like, oh fuck, like why is this happening to
To
me? And
me, why
I'm
don't they
trying to be
like
genuine.
me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Why won't they invite me?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. But
God.
then it's just like I'm a big woman. I may not look like it, but I am a big woman, and I don't have to, what you're saying, I don't have to sit at your table. It's like, okay, cool. Like, do you think me not sitting at your table is gonna stop me from getting where I need to
Exactly.
go? You don't know me. Let's link your
Exactly.
eyes, just punch him.
Hey,
And this is Eden
hey.
Wasp, you know.
You don't have to ask for permission to be
Yes,
yourself,
yes,
okay?
yes.
At any point in time. I'm at a pace now where the people I was asking to recognize me last year, anyway, well, I guess we're all friends now.
Yeah, and that's just how it goes. That's just how it goes. Yeah, fork out your own lane and just stay in your lane, and you will attract whatever you want to attract there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The right people will find you. You have to first find yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm telling you, because if you don't, you're gonna attract any and everything, and then you're gonna have a hard time trying to sift through the nonsense.
Exactly.
Find yourself first, find your center first, and the people who are meant for you will then find you, and also just things will grow.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I've
Organically, like without
exactly,
forcing it. I don't like forcing things.
exactly.
Yeah. Navigating this space hasn't been easy. And I'm sure you've had moments where you felt very misunderstood and just underestimated, So, how do you stay grounded? How have you stayed grounded, through this whole process and, navigating Grenada society and just still showing up as just you, bold and just, courageous? Yeah.
Yeah, it has definitely been difficult. At first, I didn't have a way to ground myself. I was still very much a child. I was in a different era, which is crazy because that was like 6 months ago. And at that point, I didn't have a system, I didn't have a structure, I didn't have a support team. So I didn't have any advice, I didn't have direction. So I just spiraled, you know. When things happened, when someone told me, "Oh, I heard this about you," I spiraled. I let it affect me. I let it soak into me, and I was like, "No, this is not me." And I fought to defend myself, to control the narrative, to create a perspective or a perception of myself that I wanted everyone to have, and it didn't work. It just made it worse. Now, what I do to ground myself is I I've changed first my perspective, my mentality. So when I hear something about me, I just let it go. I let it go and I let it be because that's not my opinion of myself. And I know my truth. And I know that not everyone's perspective is going to be the same. I do welcome healthy criticism because I realized also that I
Yeah,
have been blind to some of my flaws that I didn't see as flaws because I'm not experiencing myself. So I realized I also have to be able to take criticism, you know,
definitely.
be able to hear, oh, you're actually not that great at this, and be able to be like, oh,
Okay, let me transmute that and let
let
me,
me
yeah.
exactly instead of being defensive, like that's not me, and you're lying or
You
you're
never grow that
jealous,
way. You
like
never grow that way.
exactly, exactly. I have to first take a moment and think to myself and actually step outside of me, you know, and be like, where does this apply? How have I been this person? Or what have I done to have possibly created this misunderstanding, if it is a misunderstanding? Um, and then, secondly, in cases where I'm just completely misunderstood or I have people in my life or who were in my life who have grudges against me, who have literal vendettas, who have just actually made it their cause in life to wake up and try to tear me down in any way that they possibly can. And so I get people trying to either warn me or inform me of, hey, I heard this. Hey, I saw this. Hey, this is happening. And I'm at a point now where I no longer feel angry. I no longer feel worry. I don't feel stressed. I don't feel
Scared, like,
afraid.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I now feel pity. I feel pity for the fact that someone out there is waking up and allowing me, my presence on this earth, to disrupt their internal being, to put them at a place where their frequency is vibrating so low that they can't just sit there with that. They have to also spill it onto other people,
Yeah.
you know? And I think that's, again, a second thing that I've done, changing my perspective on what's happening, because it's not an attack on me.
Yes, yes. It's
It's
just
an
an outward projection.
Exactly. It's an outward projection and actually an attack on themselves
Exactly.
because their peace is disrupted, their energy is drained.
And they're actually giving you their energy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so at the end of the day, hey,
I'm here, I'm alive, I'm in Grenada, I'm making money.
I live in paradise.
Exactly.
I'm happy. I do whatever it is that I want with my 24 hours on this planet.
Per.
And yeah, I don't know how to, that's all I can say.
And you're looking good.
And I,
Hear me in the background. And you're looking
and
good.
I'm looking good. So, my advice to someone who's actually going through the same or in any area in their life is just remember that that's outside of you. Someone recently asked me, she said, when did what people think of you become your business?
Facts.
How is that
Yeah.
your business? What that have to do with me?
Exactly. I getting paid for it or not? No, I'm
Exactly.
not.
Is that putting food on my table? It's not. At the end of the day, my reality is mine, and I'm gonna live in my reality because I realize everybody else's reality not as nice. It's not as pretty as well. I like it here. I like it
Yeah.
in my realm,
In my bubble. And it's that.
and it's that.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed this episode, and I know you guys did as well. Just just getting other creatives, other women, and just speaking about our experiences and navigating Grenada, and especially as expats as well, young, women who have just moved to, you've moved back home, I've moved to, a whole different country. And yeah, like we've definitely shared our slice of, navigating Grenada. And I'm just grateful for you to just finding the time and just sitting down with me and, our splash pod. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank
Yeah.
you, of course. Thank you so much for having me. I honestly, truly admire your work and I admire what you're doing. I think we had a brief chat about this last year, and this is necessary. The conversations that you're having, the collaborations that you're making, the connections, the uplifting of women.
Yeah, yeah, that's really
This
important.
is important work, and I appreciate you for allowing me to be a part of that. Honestly, thank you.
Yay.
Kudos to you.
Thank you. I really like your spirit. We have had our, experiences together, and, collaboration is really important to me. I'm not that type of person that says, okay, let's collaborate just to kind of just say that, okay, I'm collaborating. No, like I genuinely want to integrate collaborations into my life because there's so many cool people in Grenada. And just like what you were saying, like you want to create a space for other creatives to connect with. And why don't we connect together? Why don't we show people in Grenada, women in Grenada, that it's okay to collaborate? This doesn't have to be a competition.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just don't want it to feel like a competition. I want to grow.
I think another major thing that a lot of people here need to realize is that you don't have to be friends to collaborate. You
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
don't.
yeah.
You don't have to be friends to do business, babe. You can just be cordial. You can recognize someone else's greatness.
Exactly.
Okay?
Give them their flowers.
Exactly. Give them their flowers and still support or uplift them and not be their friend. You don't have to be
Literally.
in their circle.
Yeah.
You don't even have to like them, actually. You can just accept that, you know what?
Yeah.
She's a woman. She's doing what she's doing. I see you.
Yeah.
And especially when it comes to collaborations, if you have some benefit to offer, you have some benefit to receive, do the collaboration. Y'all don't have to be buddies.
This is what Teddy was saying in our recent episode. He was saying that it's not, people need to stop focusing on the each other's, like, who the
On the
person is.
person.
Yeah, more focus on the outcome and what you want to create. You want to create dope shit, so don't limit yourself by thinking about this person or that person, and I feel like that's what makes Teddy so successful in what he does, and also you as well, so yeah, that's just some tea for you guys, and yeah, some inspiration. So thank you so much for tuning in to Salt Plus Honey. I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.